So uh, Buddha is in the Saddharma Pundarika and other places. He's called, or Avalokiteshvara or Amitabha is called Purusottama, Adipurusha, Dharmakaya, so on and so forth. He's also called Bhagavan. Bhagavan is one of the most important names of Krishna. That's why you have the Bhagavad Gita, Song of God. Krishna is God, Bhagavan. Now, we have this invocation in here, in the Sanskrit invocation in Tibetan Buddhist ritual, Om Namo Bhagavate, which is the way that many, many Vaishnava prayers begin. Like Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, so forth. So here we have Om Namo Bhagavate Pushpaketu Rajaya Tata Kataya Arhate Samyaksha Buddhaya Tadyata, etc. And that ends with the Svaha, which is like invocation. Now, what I was saying about that is, here's what I'm looking for. Om, Om, Hum, Tram, Pri, Ah. You see this right here? This is a look at the mantras here. Seed mantra. These are seed mantras. There's the Fat, P-H-A-T, Fat. This is the Fiat, and this is Pata. The Sanskrit, and if you look at Sanskrit dictionary, it means open, invoke. Sometimes say like fiat, so be it, Now, this is amazing here. You see that? That is the seed mantra for the Trinity, for the Trikaya, Hri, H-R-I-H, and individually they are Hari. So there it is right there. And look, here's Ganapati, that's Ganesha. Ganapati is Ganesha. He's the father of the Gana. I was explaining before. Generation, Jinna is, and Pati is father. So those are all very, very important there. And I was going to say about Bhagavan is if you go to Slavic Bibles, the God is called Bog in Slavic Bibles, and linguists know that Slavic Bog is Bhaga, as in Krishna's name Bhagavan. So we have names of Krishna, Sanskrit cognate names of Krishna in the Coptic Bible, and we have Sanskrit cognate names of Krishna in the Slavic Bible. And right now we're looking at Tibetan ritual, and we're looking at the Sanskrit of Tibetan ritual. What I'm looking for is a very important mantra to protector form of the Lord. I'm looking at all of these. I mean, all of these rituals are right-hand tantric rituals found commonly in India. All the Sanskrit, it's all there. This book is wonderful because it actually gives the Sanskrit. It gives the Tibetan and it gives the Sanskrit. The one particular, I think I'm getting warm. The one particular mantra that I'm looking for here is I'm absolutely certain that it's the Tetragrammaton, the Jewish Tetragrammaton. And what you have to understand with that is that there's a convention for chanting these seeds, these bijas. And that convention puts an im on the end. There it is, right there. Contemplating the Sibyls. This is page 182, starting on page 182 under Worship. I just found it. 2.112. Contemplating the syllables. I visualize a white Om on the top of her head, a red Ah on her throat, a blue Hum on her heart, H-U-M, Hum on her heart, and on a lotus and a moon, a green symbol, Tam, in the center of her heart. 2.113. Inviting the knowing knowledge being. From that syllable Tam, now I'll make my first comment here. Why is Tam the bija or the seed mantra for Tara? And the im on the end is a convention of chanting. It's the ta that is Tara, invokes Tara. So the tum is, that's the way, that's the convention. You have to know that to see what I'm about to tell you. From that syllable tum, light radiates forth, inviting the knowledge being, who is like the symbolic being already visualized from the vast field of Potala Mountain, her natural abode, surrounded by all of Tara's divine multitudes. Here the monks pick up their vajras and bells. The vajra is the symbol of the thunderbolt, and the bells, figure 24. And the bells are rung as they say, Vajra Samaja. Oh, there it is, Samaja, guys. Vajra Samaja, diamond or thunderbolt, Vajra. Gathering. Remember I said Samagama, Samaja? There it is right there. Vajra Samaja. These are cult terms for, it's a synagogue. It's a gathering of sadhus. Vajra Samaja, diamond gathering. Then, as they recite the following verse, or hear sing it to one of the standard melodies and that fit its meter, the bells are rung at the end of each line, ending with a great peal of sound as they call out her name. From the highest place of Potala, born from the green syllable Tam, saving beings with the light of the syllable Tam, Tara and your retinue, I pray you come, Arya Tare. Well, this is the invocation of white Tara. I can say because Arya in this context means white. So this is the invocation of the form of white Tara, but she's being invoked as with the green Ma'am. I wonder the green syllable Tam. So, but Arya Tara is a white. So I'm picking up in the middle here. So then this is just extremely important. Then with the 4 gestures and the mantra, Yaham Bam Ho, they summon the knowledge being, absorb it, bind it, and dissolve it into the symbolic being, conveying the true power of the deity into the visualization. They join their palms in reverence to the single goddess and say, thereby Tara and her divine hosts dissolve the indivisibility of this into the symbolic being. 4.114, sealing with the initiation. The final step in the process of generation is the initiation of the deity, the sealing of its form and its power, and for this purpose the 5 families of Buddhas are invited. Once again, the light from her heart radiates forth and invites the 5 Buddhas and their retinue. The Buddhas are welcomed with Vajra Samajaha, and offerings are made to them with the appropriate gestures, and Om Vajra Pushpe, the flowers, Ahum Vajra Dupe, Aloke, Gandhe, Naivid, Ye, Shabda Ahum. This ends as before with the crash of the peaceful music, and they got symbols, and the Buddhas are prayed to bestow initiation with Om Abhish Chetu Mam Sarva Tathagataha. Om, let all the Tathagatas initiate me. We may note that this mantra has been taken over unchanged from rituals of self-generation by Tibetan authors innocent of Sanskrit, even though it is here inappropriate to a deity generated in front. But it is in any event the power of the intention crystallized in the magic words which act as the catalyst for the visualization the monks form as they recite Om Sarva Tathagata Abhishek Tata Abhishekata. Abhishek is a kind of initiation. Samaya Shreya Hum. Om, the glory of the vow of initiation by all the Tathagatas. Hum. Now, this is not the passage that I was looking for before, but I saw it because it has the name in it. And elsewhere it's described that this mantra actually invokes a great protector. And I want you to look at this mantra, and I want you to tell me if you take the im off, and remember the im is a convention for chanting, what do you have?
Okay, the mantra he's referring to is Ya Hum Bam Ho. if we remove the last letter of each,
No, just the M's.
just the M's. Okay, just the M's. We have Yahoo Baho. Yahoo Baho.
And what is B? Completely interchangeable.
V.
Okay, so what have you got?
Yahoo Baho.
It's a tetragrammaton.
It is the Tetragrammaton in Tibetan Buddhist cult of Tara.
Surprise! And you know who it invokes? Lion-headed Mahadev Bhairav Shiva, a wrathful transformation of Lokeshvara as time, Kala Bhairav. This is a mantra they use for the biggest, scariest protector. And I believe that in this book elsewhere they connect it to, the great protector. But I just happen to run across that particular invocation of it. But if you're in Nepal and Tibet, in Nepal they have shrines and temples of Bhairav, and they actually say, don't look at the murtis of Bhairav. They're so terrible. They have stories that say people turned to stone or people died of a heart attack looking at the murtis of Bhairav because they're so terrible. Because Bhairav, is a wrathful form of the God is time that's devouring the worlds, and he destroys everything. So this is what they say about Shiva. So when they associate Shiva with Kala, they say that Shiva is dance of destruction at the end of the universe. He destroys the whole universe. And in that wrathful form, destroying the whole universe, he's terrible. Bhairava means terrible. Well, the B and the V are totally interchangeable, right? You're getting this good point. Amongst them, the V is not pronounced with a V. I mean, the V is not V, it's a B. So they say, what was some of the things I was just saying earlier, where the B and V are interchangeable? They don't say Varaha. They say Baraha for the boar form, whereas the Vaishnavas would say, many would say Varaha, Lord Varaha. So in Tibetan Buddhism in Nepal they say Bhairav. They say Baraha instead of Varaha. So they use the B for the V instead. So here they would say that instead of saying Bhairav, like the Vaishnavas would say, they say Bhairab. So Bhairab Shiva. So here, that the B and the V of the Om. How does he say Om? Yahum. How do they do it? Yah ho bum ho. Is that it?
Yah hum.
Oh yeah. Yah hum. Yah hum bum ho.
Another part right there.
Oh yeah. Here, okay. All the Buddhas of the 10 directions arose, the melted deity, with the song Om Mahasukham Vajrasata Yahum Bam Ho. Oh, here's twice in here. Yahum Bam Ho. See it?
Mm-hmm.
Surastvam Drishai Ho. Om Great Bliss Vajra Sattva. Oh, that's just the translation. O great bliss Vajra Sattva Yahum Bam Ho. You are the deity. Become visible, Ho, and instantaneously becomes the blessed, glorious Chakra Samvara, his body colored blue. And then, after the resultant Haruka is generated, the retinue of the mandala is contemplatively created in the same way.
Haruka.
Yeah. Let me see. I'm backing up here a little bit to look a little bit more of this. Oh, this is Tantrism, and this gets with this sexual stuff, right? But I want to read this anyway, just because it's important. By the sound, I'm going to start right here. By the sound of the bliss of the union of the father and the mother, and by the light from their hearts, there are invited both those whose accomplishment of deity is innate, and those beings who had been cleansed into the mandala of the Chakra Samvara. Entering into union in the sky before me, they all melt into great bliss and enter through my mouth, descending the central channel. They pass through the Vajra and Jim and fall and mix into the anthers of the mother. Just like anthers is like, flower anthers. The father and mother dissolve into a ball of bliss, which is as if in the form of quicksilver. In some ritual traditions, the great bliss of the retinue takes the form of the syllable of bardo awareness. The bardo is the world that the soul passes through from death to the next life. Syllable of bardo awareness, either hum or...
That's what the guy named his book after.
Yeah. Either hum or om ah hum, which again enters into the father and passes through his vajra penis and into the lotus vagina of the mother. They use the vajra as a phallic symbol, and they use the lotus as the yoni vagina symbol or worm symbol. To be placed between two syllables, ho, before the deities dissolve. But in any event, this melted deity, this ball of bliss, is aroused with the song to create the resultant haruka, colored blue. All the Buddhas of the 10 directions arouse the melted deity, this is the haruka, with the song Om Mahasukam Vajra Sattva Yaham Bam Ho Surastvam Drashaya Ho Om Great Bliss Vajra Sattva Yaham Bam Ho, you are the deity, become visible, Ho. And instantaneously, it's like in Native Americans, they say, aho. I don't know if there's any connection there, but it's just interesting. And instantaneously it becomes the blessed, glorious chakra samvara, his body colored blue. And then, after the resultant haruka is generated, the retinue of the mandala is contemplatively created in the same way. Now, this was page 113 I just read under worship. In the secret place of the Father, there comes from hum a blue vajra, from bam a red jim at its tip, and the whole is blocked by a yellow fat. In the place of space of the mother, see, I'm always talking about mother is Ladini Shakti. She's space. She's the kenosis, the emptiness of the receiver. In the place of space of the mother, there comes from a red lotus, from om, its blue anthers, and the whole is blocked by the yellow fat. By the sound of the bliss of the union of the father and mother, and by the light from their hearts, there are invited all the Tathagatas of all the 10 directions. The Tathagatas are the saints, past saints of the... Entering through the juncture of my eyebrows. This is the juncture of the eyebrows, is the Brahmarandra. Brahmarandra is at the top of the head, but the place between the eyebrows is really important. That's where you anoint with the name of God. Entering through the juncture of my eyebrows, they arrive in my heart and melt into lust, descending the central channel. They pass through the jim and fall into the vagina of the mother, and they assume the roles of the deities who reside in the residential mandala. The retinue of the mandala radiates out from the mother's womb, step by step, and they take their proper places in the divine mansion. This more elaborate generation of the symbolic being has been worked into many of the classic schematizations of the process of generation as a whole. Thus we find that the cycles of Yamantaka talk of 4 yogas, as it is said in the Tantra of the Black Slayer of Death. First, the contemplation is yoga. Second is further yoga. Third is higher yoga. The fourth is great yoga. And the next text elaborates upon these 4. The perfected Vajrasattva, we maintain, is yoga. With that as its cause, the divine body is known as further yoga. The complete perfection of all the retinue we hold to be the higher yoga. Yoga is literally the unity of the self with God. It means two, unity of two. The English word yoke and the English word conjugal from the Latin, jugum, is the word yoga. So it has the sense, always the sense of joining two, as in conjugal. The complete perfection of all of the retinue we hold to be the higher yoga, empowering body, speech, and mind, the eyes of the deity, and so on, absorbing the knowledge retinue and the great offerings and praises called the great yoga. Thus, Tsongkhapa, I can't say Tibetan words, glosses yoga is the meditation of the Vajrasattva, and, the causal bearer of the Vajra. Vajra could be diamond, it could be thunderbolt, it could be penis here in this particular context. Of the Vajra, possessing an essence of knowledge of purity, evoked through the 5 realizations. And the further yoga is the yoga of the resultant bearer of the Vajra. And the higher yoga is the perfection of the retinue. The father and mother entered into union, and the retinue of the deities generated in the lotus radiate out and are rayed each in its own direction. So it's a unity of Hari and Shakti, of the feminine, masculine and the feminine, that generates all the deities. It generates the whole retinue. They come out of the womb of Shakti via the generation of Shaktiman. And finally, great yoga includes all the remaining acts of the ritual, empowering the body, speech, and mind, and so on, absorbing the knowledge being, sealing with the initiation, the offerings and praise. And he adds, all the yogas which are the foundation of the process of generation are subsumed under these 4 yogas. The first 2, the evocation of the chief father mother, are considered little yoga. After that, the 3rd yoga, adding the perfect evocation of the retinue of deities, is the middle yoga. And finally, evoking oneself as of one taste with the knowledge being, empowering one's eyes, and so on, is a great yoga. Now, this kind of evocation has also to do with, there's a similar process in Vaishnavism when a person is meditating, and the devotee, the bhakta, like say for instance they're meditating on Lord Nrsimhadev, or they're meditating on Krishna or some particular form of the Lord, they put on the Lord, or they put on the whole armor of the Lord, and they meditate on a form of the Lord protecting each one of their limbs and protecting their organs. And as they meditate on, they really consecrate or devote that part of their body to the deity. And also, a lot of times there's a meditation on the cosmic form of Purusha too. Because, as above, so below, the cosmic form of the Lord is mirrored in the human form of the body. And so the devas in the cosmos, who are the regulators, or the form of the Lord that presides over wind, water, all the different elemental powers and abstract powers and attributes. We have all of those in finite and to a small extent in our own bodies. So all of this in Judaism, these are the angels that preside over all these organs and systems and different things. In Catholicism, it's the same thing. We have guardian angels of our liver, and cities have guardian angels, and workers' guilds have guardian angels. So in Vaishnavism and in Pure Land Buddhism, it's the devas, the presiding devas. So what they do in these kinds of a thing here is it's the same kind of thing as when a Vaishnava uses a right-hand tantric ritual to consecrate their body and like put on the whole armor of God, or assign the protection of a part of their body to a particular form of the Lord. So that's what's going on here. But anyway, you can go through this book and you can see that there are, if you were Vaishnava, you would recognize them, numerous names of Krishna or Vishnu that are in the Sanskrit in here as names of the Buddha. So I won't talk more about that, but I'm glad you got to see the invocation of the Tetragrammaton in there. It's astounding, really. So,
Astounding.
yeah.
Really.
Yes, I'm speechless. Um,
And he found it by leafing through.
well, it's in big print. It was easy to see.
Oh, isn't that modest of him?
It was big. It is in big print. Show it to him.
False modesty, isn't good.
Oh well. What I got to do if I don't have any real modesty? Okay, this is to the um, King James, but I have it because they say strong's for the strong and young for the youngs. The Young's Analytical Concordance are super easy to use, and it's to the King James Version. And most of the people you run into over here just use the King James Version, and most of the people that I have to wrangle with are using a King James Version. So if I use their sources to prove my points, they really can't argue with me anymore. So I've used, you'll see this is very well used,
Well, I'm going to leave you guys finish up.
Okay, well, taking off, you're quick for me. I can't miss a chance to say goodnight to my precious father.
Thanks,
I love you,
honey.
Dad. Good night.
Thanks.
Be safe. Be
Have a
safe.
good rest.
I will.
See
You
you
too.
tomorrow.
Thanks,
Good night.
honey. Good to spend a day with you today.
You too.
Thanks.
Don't forget to turn on those lights if you head to the bathroom, Dad.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'll leave this hall light on, and I'll leave but turn the kitchen light on when you go through there.
Yeah, okay.
Now that the Greek that in the Greek lexicon, the Greek names lists in here, in a Catholic Bible concordance, you'd get all this. You'd get the lexicon to here, the Greek in here. So we don't have that, but I could go through here and show you this whole Greek is absolutely, cognate with this tradition. There's so many cognate names of God and cult terms in here. I got hair in my mouth. That basically you could say this scripture and that scripture right there are representatives of the same tradition. I don't know of anybody else that's ever compared these two. Why? Why, Prabhu? It just astounds me. Is that thing on? Yeah. I mean, it just shows you the extent of, and this whole New Age interfaith movement. They're not doing this. They're having all these conferences and they're talking all this Advaita stuff. It's all this Advaita stuff. And they refuse to, they're not dealing with any of this. So, but anyway, what I'm going to do, because we might read some really important things from Maccabees in that, I'll let you read them if I can find them quick and easy. We've just looked at some by names of Hari in the Buddhist and in the Vaishnava scriptures. Now, besides all those common names or by names, the names of the Supreme Lord himself are the same, because you can go to Chinese or any of these Pure Land Buddhist traditions and you'll find numerous prayers addressed to Hari. Like one of my Facebook friends, I don't know if she's Chinese, I think she's Chinese, she posted the most absolutely beautiful prayer to the Lord, Pure Land Buddhist prayer, and it was addressed to Hari. So not only the Hari, H-R-I-H, is common to, like if you go to Japan and you say, what is the secret or what is the Mula mantra, the seed mantra for Amitabha or for the Trikaya, but mainly for Amitabha, they'll say, in Japan, it's H-R-I-H. So it's the same deity. But what I want to look at now is I want to look at these astounding compound by names, or theophoric and by names of the Jewish deity from the Old Testament. So we're looking at a complete list of scripture proper names as in the Authorized and Revised versions showing their modern pronunciation and the exact form of the original Hebrew. I like this because it gives the exact form of the original Hebrew for comparison for all the rest of my work. Well, I've gone through here and I've marked names that I've investigated a lot in depth. This was a long time ago. I've done a lot more names since then. And I've also looked at ones that are suspicious. In other words, they look like they might be something important. Sometimes the names look cognate, and they can be under linguistic rules. They're really right there, but there's no content to the name. When you unpack the name, it doesn't seem like it has anything to do with it. Again, that might not mean anything. It still might be cognate. There might be a confounding, or it might not have anything to do with it at all. It might not be. But when you see things like let's see if I can find one here that I'm thinking about right at the moment. Right here. Can you say that?
Pethahia. Pataya. Pataya.
The original form has got that's the name of Yah on the end of it, right?
Yeah, and Patah in the front.
Okay, now let's go and see what it means. All right.
Pataya. Yah opens. 1. A priest in the days of David appointed over the 19th charge of the sanctuary, BC 1015. 1 Chronicles 24:16. The 19th to Pataya. The 20th to Jeremiah. 2. A Levite that has taken a strange wife, BC 445. From Ezra 10:23. The same is Kelita, Judah, Eli. 3. A Levite who regulated the devotions of the people after Ezra had finished reading the book of the law to them, BC 445. Nehemiah 9:5. Petaiah said, "Stand up and bless the Lord." 4. A son of Meshezabeel and of the family of Zerah, son of Judah, whom the king of Persia employed in matters concerning the returned exiles, BC 445. Nehemiah 11:24. Petaiah, the son of Mehezabeel. Petaiah, Yah opens.
Oh, we're just getting started.
This is Young's Concordance you're using?
Oh yeah, I can prove my all my stuff to the Protestants just using their deficient King James version. Okay, so we've got Petaiah.
Now we got Petuel, God delivers. Brother of Joel the prophet, BC 800. Petuel.
This is the Peta name.
Yeah.
Eli.
With L, with the Li, and you
Eli.
have it with Yah.
Yeah, Eli and Yah. Haru Pata.
Patah is El, Patah is Yah.
Yes, exactly. You've got it. Look at how they interpret the name Pharaoh.
Pharaoh, a king of Egypt.
No, look.
Son.
Okay, now look at the name itself.
Far. Oh. Pahar. Har.
Look at
I
that.
see.
This is the Horus name. Pharaoh is Eliyahu. It's Helios. It's Eliyahu. It's the same name. It's the compound Heruasu.
I see. Because you have the H-A-R in the first
Yeah.
syllable. And A-O-H in the second.
Well, the Yah, Asu, remember, Asu is Yahoo.
Mm-hmm.
Yasu is Yahoo. So on the end of names, Yahoo becomes AH or OS, US in the Greek. So what did they believe the word the Pharaoh to mean? Pharaoh was Helios, it was Eliyahu. He was the Horus. Okay. No, the king's Pharaoh name is his Horus name.
Yeah, well, the king was Horus.
Yeah, incarnation, an empowered incarnation,
Yeah.
anointed king. He's the Chakravartin. Now, okay, we've got Ptah, Yahoo, Pituel. Okay, let's look at some others. Go back to our Hebrew name list. And let's just go down through here and see what I can find. I have, gosh, what is that one? And Elihaba. Oh, you'll love this one. Are you getting your money's worth out of me?
You're taking me by the hand and showing me how to do this so I can show other people. Take
Yeah.
them by the hand.
Yeah. That's doing it. Look at this. There is such a feast in the scriptures of the world. I've studied thousands of these names. You know, just in the Mahabharata, when the grandfather Bhishma is dying on a bed of arrows in the battlefield, and Krishna comes before him, and what does he do? He sings the 1,000 names of Vishnu Sahasranam. You could go through those 1,000 names and you can find, then there's the 108 names of Krishna, 108 names of Nrsimhadev, 108 names of Rama, all these vast litanies of names of the Lord. And then you go over to this. Oh my gosh, I just can't stop. I've done so many.
It's surprising enough, but understandable that within Vaishnavism and Shaivism and Buddhism, since they're all Eastern religions and using Sanskrit, it's understandable, but it's still amazing. But when you get to the Hebrew, and then you get to the Egyptian,
and
the Greek, then
and the Roman, how can you fight it? It's bigger than all of us, Prabhu. It's God. It's God. So I want to give you a few more good ones here, just for fun, because they're so obvious that even a child can see it. One time I did a test when I was I was teaching as a recreation programmer instructor for the county seat. And I had this big facility under my I could use that whole facility. I have a $200,000 public budget for running that building and the programs out of there. So one of the things that I did one time was I got together a whole bunch of pictures. Like one of my bunch of pictures was pictures of the lion-headed form of the Lord from all different times and traditions. And a whole bunch of pictures like that. And I'd lay them out on a table, and I was teaching little kids art. So I had my class come in and I had them look at all these pictures and tell me what they thought. Just no leading the witnesses or anything. Tell me what they thought. And all the kids in my first drawing class, all of them could recognize without any teaching in iconography or anything that this was this. They could point out all the features of Nrsimhadev, no matter how changed they were throughout the different cultures, like I've been showing you, that there are arms here, wings someplace else, faces on the belly, lions' heads, snakes on the feet. The little kids could point out, oh, that's that. They could line them all up Like cards, they could say, oh, we'll put all these together, put all those together. Those are the same thing. Regardless of the style, regardless of the art style. Isn't it astonishing? Little kids can read icons. So, what I'm trying to do here, not that you're a little kid, but what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to show you that some of the names are the most, jump right out obvious at you so that it gets you a taste, because then you can go in and really start to work with these names. So I'm looking for Eliahba. And just the feasting of looking on this. Look at all these theophoric names. These are names, these are people's names. And they've been given these names because their parents are members of the cult. They worship these forms of the Lord. Ili is this, Yahoo is that, right? These are their little local denominations. Our Catholic parishes, we worship the Lord this way in one parish and that way in another parish, and after this saint in this parish, and after that saint in that parish, and this parish is Our Lady is a patroness of fishermen, and that parish we got this patron of so and so. And so there's a local character, personal relationship with God, a totally local character to every one of the churches, but they're not thousands of different churches. They are thousands of thousands of the one church. That is the Catholic vision that we have to understand this. These are not different gods. These are all the same God. Okay, there it is, right there. See it? Eliahba?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I could write a book on this one, I'll tell you. So amazing. Even just one of these Eliyahu names is enough to clinch it. You say, oh, well, that's obvious. Yahoo is Ptah. Ptah, if you go to any Egyptian, if we went on the internet right now and you looked up Ptah, they would say the opener. And they give you all this business about it. He opens the mouth, he opens the ears, he opens the mouth, the eyes of the deceased, and et cetera, et cetera. Now, let's see. I'm going to test you on this and see if you've been paying attention. There's an amazing one. We might do that one next. Okay. Oh, there's a bunch of good ones on this page. All right, when you look at this one, then I'm going to test you and see what I've been telling you about this. Okay, you tell me which deity, which Egyptian deity this is.
Okay. Eliahba, God hides. Well, it's got the Eli name at the front, and it's got the HB name after. So, Hop.
Okay, yes. And what do they call Hop in India? I mean, in Egypt. He's the hidden god.
Whose symbol is the angle above and below.
Yeah, because what? He's both the hidden God and he's the hiding God.
He's both beyond where
He's
we
covering.
can't see,
Yeah.
and below where we can't see.
He's super and he's sub. Okay?
He's hiding
So-
both beyond and below.
Yeah, so but here you have Eliahba is God hides. So Eli is the coverer. Hari is the transcendent. He's covering. He's the cover, hiding, right? Okay, so now let's just go to, now remember, that's the Father, the transcendent Father. Interesting, this particular case. So let's go to, if I'm remembering right, my brain is so worn out. Let's see if I can get it right here. Winging it instead of going to my name list. I might have to go back to the name list. Okay, intermission, turn off the tape because I'm going to go back to lift the tape because I'm going to go back to lift the tape because I'm